Hey, everybody, how's it going? Welcome to Between the Laughs. No, listen, man, Between the Laughs, I am here with Gabe Lopez.
Hi, everybody.
How's it going, everybody? Listen, man, we just go off the cuff. We talk about stuff, that's in our brains, that's in the zeitgeist, stuff that hopefully is in some way, shape, or form important to you. And, bro, something happened in my neighborhood. If you guys go check the two homicides in Encino, California, that's literally the house next to mine. So I found out yesterday that our neighbor, so there was somebody at the house, but we weren't at the house. Amy was in Lake Shasta with the kids, and I was in Jacksonville. And the people that were staying at the house, they said that they didn't hear anything. But the lady next door saw somebody jump over our fence. So they kind of jumped into our property, and then all the stuff went off, and then they jumped into the next door neighbors.
Okay.
On Thursday.
Got it.
And then I found out from what everything is happening, or everything that's out, I guess what it is they went in there, and the people that own, the people that lived in the house showed up, came home. There was an intruder, and then he shot both of them dead. And they caught him, and he lives in Encino, is what they said. So I don't think it's a robbery, bro.
Like, you think it was like they targeted these people specifically?
Well, it would be like somebody broke into a house in Beverly Hills. Who's from Beverly Hills?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh, I see where you're going.
You wouldn't think that somebody that lives in Beverly Hills is going to steal stuff from somebody in Beverly Hills.
Correct.
So that's what my assumption is. My assumption is that it had to do with something else. I'm not sure, just because we don't know yet and things are coming out.
Yeah.
But, it's funny because my wife, Amy White, grew up in Oregon. She was like, maybe we should go over there and tell the cops, that he jumped over our thing. And that I'm like, whoa,
you stay out of this, honey.
No.
You stay out of this.
I was like, listen, if the cops come and show up and tell us, look, you got to give us footage and there's nothing we can do about it, go for it.
Happy to do it.
Nothing I can do about it. You know what I mean? Just in case anybody, I don't know what this is all about. I have no idea what it's all about. But if it was a home invasion and they were just trying to steal, okay, that's one thing. But if they was targeted, I don't want to know anything about this.
Yeah.
I don't have anything to do about this. Nothing. It's like our next door neighbor, the other next door neighbor. So we have three neighbors because of the way our property is built. Yeah. If you're facing our home, to the left is a neighbor, our backyard is a different neighbor, and to the right is a different neighbor. The one to the right is the one that got. The neighbors behind us, they have parties all the time, bro. All the time. And sometimes, dude, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm in bed and zoop, 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 you know what I mean? Like, but I'm not. And Amy sometimes is like, maybe you should. No! No. We do not call. No. We stay, we chill, we let it go.
We are Switzerland in this. This is just going to go on. It'll eventually die down.
Yes, but it made me realize how different we are. I mean, yes, there's a joke, right? I don't know how many comedians have done it. I used to do it a long time ago. When I was in the difference between Mexicans and white people, phase 20, 35 years ago. And it was, the difference was, and I think it was born when I had a girlfriend. I had a girlfriend named Nikki, and we were in a restaurant, and shots were heard. And her immediate reaction was, excuse me, let's go outside and see what's going on. I'm like, what are you doing? No! I was like, no, what are you doing? You stay inside. Yeah. You don't go. And then I was like, let me see what's going on. And then I kind of was figuring out. But, that whole dynamic, you know what I mean?
Do you think it's a poor upbringing compared to a not poor upbringing?
Here's what it made me think. It made me think of the topic of today, which is depending on how you grow up, right? The environment that you grow up, there are gonna be things that stick with you that later on in life are either gonna be beneficial or not, right? Like, look at it this way. We are born perfect, right? We're born perfect. We don't have an attitude. We don't have anything, just born perfect. And then society, school, people, moms, dads, uncles, aunts, all the village starts to say to you, this is appropriate, this is not appropriate, do this, don't do that, behave this way, don't behave that way, right? And they give you all this stuff until you're 18 to 20, whatever, and you move out of the house. That's when you begin your journey, your true journey, in my opinion, to become the person that you want to be in the future. Because up until that point, you're kind of an amalgamation of all the stuff they want you to be. And, you know, as a teenager, you basically don't want to be like your parents, most of you. And some people love their parents so much they want to be, I want to be like dad, I want to be like mom. Most of us are like, oh my God, mom, I can't believe, oh my God, dad, because we want to go and run away from it. But once we're gone, that's when you begin to. So I started looking at my life, and I remember somebody quoted me the other day. I forgot I said this. And they said, you said that the things that you learned as a kid helped you get out of the ghetto, but hurt you in your career, right? And so this made me think about that. Like, it made me think about the fact that, you know, I don't want to get involved in anybody else's stuff in the house, you know, in our neighborhood. I don't want anybody to be like, oh yeah, Carlos called the cops on us, or he's the one that did, you know what I mean? I'm whatever you guys want to do.
We were raised to not be snitches.
We were raised to not just that, but you don't know what the repercussions are.
Yeah, because that kept us safe.
It's
Not
being
talking
safe.
kept us safe.
Yeah, not knowing.
And that's all it is. It was a defense mechanism.
It completely, like a lot of people think snitches get stitches and all that. It's just literally to stay safe, for you not to be the one. Like, you want to be the one. In my neighborhood, you wanted to be the neighborhood that is like, oh, they never see anything.
Yeah.
No, don't even ask them. You know, don't even go there. Because when I was a kid, I used to watch TV dramas but I loved cop shows ever since I was a kid. And back then it was Starsky and Hutch and Beretta. And dude, it was funny because every single one of those had one episode where there was a Mexican guy in it. And the Mexican guy was always this actor named A. Martinez, who looked Mexican, but also kind of like Indian-y. I don't know if you know who A. Martinez is from when you were a kid. But that dude was in everyone. And in everyone, he was the kid that was stuck right between the worlds. He was a good kid, but he was in the hood and he was getting sucked in. And then Beretta or Starsky and Hutch or Dan Tana or whoever that was were going to help him get out of the hood. Yeah. You know what I mean? There was that moment where you got to choose, man. Yeah. You got to choose, man. Are you going to stay with them and end up in jail? You know what I mean? Yeah. And then he had to make that decision. But in those TV shows, there was always this scene. See? We're investigating a murder that happened down the hallway. No, say nothing. No, say nothing. If you don't answer, we're gonna call immigration. His name is Jose. He lives in apartment 2C. Don't tell nobody. Like that. Those two episodes were always there, and it was those kind of archetypes. But I did grow up in a neighborhood where, you know, speaking things like that made you unsafe.
Yeah, of course.
And that was one thing. So me not calling the cops on the neighbors, or me not saying, hey, there's something over here, something over there, that's just a defense mechanism. But what I have had to get rid of for the past, well, I got rid of it. It took me about 10 years, from 2010 to about 2020. Those 10 years, I was working on myself to not be the quiet, aggressive guy that I put out as a kid. So I was so here's who I was when I was a kid. Well, let me just start this. I grew up in the Maravilla projects in East Los Angeles. At the time, one of the most dangerous places to live in all of America. We were surrounded, dude. That neighborhood, it's just an enclave. Mm-hmm. 5 gangs within that small little community.
Sure.
White Fence, Garrity, Arizona, Rock Maravilla, and Del Hoyo Maravilla, all in the same little place. And so there was a lot of that going on. And back in my day, it was, hey, bro, where you from, mister? Where you from, Holmes? That question, just that question alone, could get you stabbed, shot, beat, or left alone. It's a simple question that, you know, in Henderson, Nevada, if you answer it, That's whatever.
Yeah.
Who cares what you say?
Yeah.
Where I grew up, it was different. And when we were in what we call neutral territory, so we lived in East LA, the closest theaters were on Whittier Boulevard, but there was kind of like a really cool Edwards Theater, I think it was back in the day, in off of Atlantic in Commerce, City of Commerce. And that was like neutral territory. But every once in a while, somebody would ask you in that neutral territory.
Yeah.
My whole thing was put out energy that will lead these guys to believe that if they mess with me, because that was my attitude when I was younger.
Yeah.
Dude, if you want to fight, kill me. You better kill me. Because if you don't kill me and you leave me alive, I'm going to kill you. I will come and hunt you down and kill your family.
It's a very specific attitude. How does one convey such an attitude?
You know what it is, bro? When you feel it, it's good. But you know what? You say that, but think about it. Digress for a second. How do you do it as a comedian? Do you know what I mean? How do you convey an attitude before you open your mouth as a comedian that you're confident, that you're funny, that you know what you're talking about? All of this stuff, before you open your mouth, is already transferred to the audience.
But I also assume I'm not going to die. Like, depending on how you answer the question and the confidence you had back then when you were a
Not
kid,
true.
drastically different.
Not true, because think about it. What do we call it when we bomb? Like dying on stage.
Yeah.
I know that it's not apples to apples, right? But it's an analogy that fits. Because if they see weakness as an audience, you will die on stage. You will not get laughter. Like, this is like a mechanism that we use. So you put out the energy of, I'm funny, I'm confident, you know, I know what I'm doing, I know what I'm saying, and you put that out there. But my point is, how do they know that? How does the audience see that before you open your mouth? How does an audience know, like us, we can tell a young comedian from an older comedian and a comedian that's growing from a comedian that's already there. Yeah. We could see it in their level of confidence, in the way they tell the joke, in the way they speak into the microphone.
And their commitment to the joke.
All of that stuff. So that's what I did. I thought, don't fuck with me. Because if you fuck with me, it's to the death.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't the biggest kid. I wasn't intimidating. You know what I mean? I wasn't physically intimidating. So the only way I could put that out there was to have that attitude. And it worked. Dude, I didn't get messed with as a kid. Like, they just left me alone. You know, I mean, don't get me wrong. I didn't hang out with those kind of people, but they even the gang members around me, you know, they kind of just let it go and let me do my thing and let me go. When I was in neutral territory, they would just let me be. But that specific attitude, it hurt me, bro. It hurt me so much when I got to comedy, because I had that attitude at the Comedy Store without knowing it.
So you walked in. We perform like we're bulletproof. And any great performer, any great stand-up at least, has to act like they are bulletproof. And our words, we're going to die by this sword. These are our words. These are our thoughts.
Right. But that's exactly it. And yet, off stage, I was still throwing that attitude out.
Ah, I see.
Do you see what I mean? You can't turn it off. Yeah. You know, it kept me alive. And my confidence gave me the ability to call the Comedy Store. Dude, I had been doing stand-up for 3 months, 6 months tops, before I called the Comedy Store to say, I'm ready for you to see me perform. Dude, the balls on that kid. The balls on that kid. Dude, names on that wall are iconic, bro. And 6 months in,
you're like, I'm ready.
I'm like, yeah, Carlos Mencia, you know what I mean? Like, at the time it was Ned Mencia. Ned Mencia, calling in. I want to showcase for Mitzi Shore. Dude, and I knew that I would get in.
I've never heard this story.
I knew that I would get in. Because I knew that when I said, I knew a little bit about her, and I knew that she loved different things. She loved things that were like different and exotic in comedy. Yeah. So when I said I'm from Honduras, I knew that she was going to read that and be like,
I've never had a Honduran comic before.
Exactly. Oh, I come from Honduras. Yeah, let's see what that's all about. Anyway, yes, the confidence that I emitted at that moment allowed me to do those things. But that confidence bordered on arrogance to other people.
Yeah.
I never felt that I was better than anybody else. But I know that my attitude was like that. My attitude was also, don't fuck with me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if you've met people, but I've had people say to me, like, dude, you're intimidating to talk to. Not now as much, but way back in the day. I mean, you have a friend that just told you that my arrogance was rubbing off on you.
Yeah.
Like, so I've really had to work on, like, toning that part of me down. And I'm curious as to, like, what do you think were the things for you? So I'll set mine up, and then you set yours. Actually, set yours up first. How did you grow up? You know, what were the circumstances? Were you poor? Were you middle class? Your parents, you know, what did they do? How did they, you know, raise you? What were the things that hurt you, or do you not see any of that? Was all of it good? Was all of it positive?
I grew up poor. When I was born, like my parents tell me the stories of when I was just a newborn, that we lived in my dad's car, and all they had was an ice chest, and the milk to feed me kept spoiling because it couldn't handle an ice chest. And for the most part, I grew up until third grade. I grew up in Santa Ana, California, which is walking, because I would walk to school. I would walk by 3 or 4 different gang areas just to get to school. Yeah. And these kids would talk to me, and you know, and I didn't know what a gang was.
Right.
You think about your first, second, third grade, you didn't really know what a gang does or what they do. And I
thought they were all idiots that huff paint.
Yeah.
I'm serious, dude. Because when I was a kid, all the gangbangers in my neighborhood used to huff paint.
Yeah.
And the minute they huff paint, bro, they sounded, and I mean it clinically, they sounded like they had like mental retardation
that
you know what I mean?
Kills brain cells.
Like literal, like, you know what it was like? It was like, I don't know if you ever saw the show Intervention, and there was a chick that used to get the blowers from Office Depot and home, the ones where you put the straw and you blow.
And you put it on the keyboard and stuff.
Yeah, and you, she would go, and she would be so that's what I grew up with. I grew up with, hey, bro. Hey, Batito, what's up, man? Like, that's where I grew up. And so I was like, oh, these pendejos are... So I never... Thank God I didn't meet the one that had money, that was rich. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That made me go, oh, my God, I want to drive a car like that. I want to have that kind of money. So anyway, I didn't look at him, but you go ahead.
Go like from Santa Ana, and think about the Santa Ana.
So you're going through neighborhoods.
And I remember the one that was appealing was Grape Street. And I'm like, oh, that sounds nice. It's Grape Street. That's so creative.
Sure.
And it's almost like these guys are just recruiters to an 8-year-old. You know, they're just trying to recruit for. I'm like. And not knowing anything about that, but I'd come home, and my mom and dad were very good. How was your day? Well, I talked to these guys from Grape Street, and they seemed like a nice bunch of guys, you know.
Right.
So and that's when the conversation between my mom and dad starting. But I think I don't want to say poor, because I didn't grow up poor. If we were, I didn't know we were, and I think that's a great thing as a kid, because you just know your life. And I was lucky. I had my mom and my dad, and I had just one sister at the time, and it was just the 4 of us. And if you don't know what it's like to be rich, poverty doesn't seem like a bad thing. This is just what you know. Not until, you know, and fast forward, my dad worked his ass off to get us out of Santa Ana, because me being the only boy, it was just a matter of time before in my dad's eyes, my dad can't watch me 24 hours a day. It's a matter of time before I got sucked into one of these gangs, and I didn't know it was a gang.
Right.
So we worked his ass off, moved us to Tustin, California, which is next door, but at the time was a very uppity white and Asian. That's all it was. To give you an idea, I was the only Mexican in my school in 3rd grade. And when I hit 4th grade, the second Mexican joined, because it was my sister starting kindergarten.
Wow.
To give you an idea how there were no Mexicans, and I didn't know, because in Santa Ana it was all blacks and Latinos, a couple white people, a couple Asians, but there was really just a big melting pot. In Tustin, I'm like, Mom, Dad, there's nobody like me here.
Right.
And I didn't know I was different. It was the white kids that basically taught me that I was different.
Right.
I really didn't see a difference between black people, white people. I didn't.
Right.
I sincerely didn't. And not until these white people told me
that you're Mexican.
That I'm the Mexican, yes.
Right.
And that's when I started to learn. But now we're go from more blue collar to white collar. But even still, the neighborhood we lived in, we were the only Latinos in the neighborhood. So I didn't realize we were targets.
Right.
And it's amazing how history repeats itself, because now you've been to my house. I live in a gated community now.
Right.
And I'm the only Latino in my neighborhood.
Right.
And then now I deal with HOAs. I don't deal with gangs. I deal with fucking HOAs.
Right.
Because there's
Which are worse.
Oh, I'd rather have the gangs.
Right.
Because there's a pine needle. Oh, there's a pine needle on the driveway, and here's your fine. So you pay money to get fined.
Right.
And HOAs could go fuck themselves. At least I respected the gangs. At
Right.
least they have a code they live under. I actually
some type of code, right?
HOAs. Oh my God, they're just looking. Who do we find? How do we find them? Oh, I'm the Mexican with the pool. Not everybody in my neighborhood has a pool.
Right.
And all of a sudden, if I have my little stereo on, sir, you're gonna have to turn it down, and you're gonna have to get rid of all these people. What am I doing wrong? It's Saturday at 4 p.m.
Right.
And I have 8 people over at my house having a barbecue.
Yeah.
And why are the cops at my house?
Right.
And just, it's weird how history repeated itself. So I started from St. Anastasio and eventually made it, once you get through college and stuff, made it to Vegas. And never thought I'd make a career out of stand-up. I thought it was just to be my part-time thing, and I'd be working some corporate gig for the rest of my life. But
So that stuff growing up, right? It gave you a specific attitude. Was that attitude beneficial to you later on in life? Is it something that you carry with you? Is it like, have you looked back and kind of went, man, I don't want to be like that? Because I know that our hatred of HOAs,
it's very similar.
very similar. Like, I have one house that has an HOA, right? Well, we have 2 houses. The one that I live in, the one that my wife's parents live in. No. The one that my wife's parents live in and the one that my mother lives in, those are both HOAs. And I hate them. Just in theory,
Yeah.
I feel like, see, this is one of those hood things that I'm talking about. I grew up poor so that I could make enough money to buy $1 million house. And I got it. And now I want to paint my foot. What? I can't paint.
I can't do what I want with
Wait,
my
what
own
do you mean?
fucking house?
Right. I can't. Well, then I'm going to do this in the back. I can't do that. Wait. Well, I'm going to throw up. I can't throw up. What the fuck? What the fuck? You're telling me what to do now with my house and my money?
It feels like we're just tenants in a house that we're buying.
Right. I feel like they own me and anything I can do. Like, I remember the first time, thank God, my dad is not emotional like that. So what happened was we threw a party, and my Uncle Jose showed up with a goat. He's going to kill a chivo in the backyard. We're going to make real birria.
Yeah.
All right? So I was unaware. I was on a ice run at the time. When I come back, bro, I'm driving to my house and I hear, and I'm just like, no, and I'm running toward the house and I hear beep beep and I turn around and it's my other uncle with holding he was holding a piece of wood, a round piece of wood over his shoulders, and 2 chickens hanging from their feet on each side of the pole. So he's about to kill chickens in my backyard, bro. I get to the backyard and I'm like, Dad, what is going on here? And my dad's like, what is the problem? I go, this is a homeowners association. I don't think that you can do this, Dad. I don't think we can kill livestock in the backyard, bro. And so the next day, there's
The certified letters just start coming in.
certified letters taped to the front of the thing.
Yeah.
Like, bro, I got to pay fines. I got to do all this stuff. And I'm just like, you see what I mean, Dad? And my dad is like, he's pissed. What, they can tell us what to do?
You own the house, right?
So wait, is their house? Is their house? No, it's my house. No, it's not your house. Because if it was your house, you can do whatever you want. And now I'm like, dude, now you're just trying to piss me off, bro. Why are you poking me, dude? Like, I didn't know what a fucking homeowners association was. I bought the house.
Yeah.
I liked the house. It was gated community. I didn't know about all this other shit. And so I go, look, Dad, and I gave him the bylaws. I go, this is what I was supposed to read that I didn't read.
Yeah.
So these are the rules. So a couple days later, my dad goes, we're going to throw a party, and I'm going to kill some chickens in the backyard. I go, Dad, we've already been through this. And he goes, nobody going to call on us. Nobody going to say nothing. I go, what do you mean? So in our little neighborhood, on our enclave, there are 4 homes that are part of this homeowners association. Just 4 of them.
Just 4.
Just 4. We're part of a huge homeowners association on the other side of this divider, and what divides us is the electrical wires. So we're part of that.
Okay.
But we're away from them, so we're not affected by any of those people. Just these 4 houses. So my dad goes, "No, nobody gonna bother us ever again." And I was like, "Okay, what happened? What'd you do?" So my father read the bylaws, and according to the bylaws, our fences have to be a specific shade of green, and they have to be between this measurement and this measurement, all of them. Well, it turns out that everybody's are 2 to 3 inches short
Okay.
of what they're supposed to be. So my dad measured them, and he knocked on their doors, and he said, "You know your fences? They're not to code." I know. I work in construction. So here's my card. If you want me to fix it, it's going to cost, I don't know how many $1,000.
Thousands of dollars.
Exactly. So he went to each house and told them that. And then, of course, he ended it by saying, "Now, if you want me to be quiet and not say anything, that's okay. I'm not going to say nothing. Don't worry about it. I'm not going to say anything." That was it. He Michael Corleone everybody, bro. And from that point on, never had any issues, never had any problems, but that came from being in the hood. So my hatred of HOAs is similar to you, but I also had, this attitude of, like, I didn't know we were poor growing up, because when you're poor, we lived on Bonnie Beach at first. It was just a neighborhood. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was just a neighborhood. Were the houses all beautiful and great? No. Were they packed in each other? Yeah. Were there 2 houses on one lot? A lot of them. Yeah. Ours was like that. Yeah, of course. It's the way but I didn't know we were poor. I didn't realize we were poor until I was old enough to remember going to Mexico and hanging out with my family in Jerez, Zacatecas, or going to Honduras and hanging out with my family in Zico, and like seeing real poor.
Yeah.
No refrigerator, no, water, no, like living in a village.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where I come from. And so my attitude was always, let's get out. And I always was confident. But I guess to other people, as your friend said, even now that I'm working on trying to not be, that, I guess that attitude just goes out there.
Well, it sucks to have the feeling, because it sucks feeling, like I said, it's like I'm the only Mexican in my neighborhood. It sucks feeling like I have a target on my back.
Do you feel like it made you want to prove something?
I don't know. That's a great, but it sucks feeling that way, because maybe I don't. Maybe I am the loud house in the neighborhood, but I don't think I am. However, I've never heard parties, but everybody's 100 in my neighborhood. I feel like I'm the youngest, and I'm the only Mexican in my little neighborhood.
Right.
And when I say little neighborhood, my neighborhood is, I'm going to say, 80 houses in my community.
It's a pretty decent sized neighborhood.
And I have 2 HOAs, one for our little community and one for the big community.
Right.
So I have to pay 2 HOA payments, and they send me fines for stuff. There's my neighbor has this monster limo, and he parks it where a little bit was kind of creeping up on my side of the house. I didn't give a shit. This is this guy's business. I was able to get in and out, but I get an HOA fine because they assumed it was mine.
Oh, no way.
Oh yeah.
So I say, like, you know what? We're gonna have to do an HOA one later, because it's just ridiculous. But I had to be aware, right? Because when I started getting hated on as a comedian, I had to stop and go, okay, you really need to look within, bro. This isn't one of those moments where I'm like, whatever, dude, they're just jealous comedians. They're just, stupid. They're dumb or whatever. I literally had to go, look, it's not, it felt like at the time every single comedian hated me.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's got to be a reason for that. And part of it was that attitude that I still had as a kid, as an adult, that I learned from a kid of like, hey, don't fuck with me. And I'm sure that when I got off stage, that's what was coming out of me, not on purpose. I wasn't thinking that. I wasn't trying that anymore. You know what I mean? It was just a part of my being. And growing up like that, it hurt me, wanting to prove to the world that I was worthy. That was another thing. That's probably part of the reason why I went on long, you know, to let everybody know I'm worthy, because I grew up in the projects, but I was the dude with a Mexican mom who wasn't Mexican because he was born in Honduras. So Mexicans never treated me like a Mexican. Hondurans never treated me like Honduran. America never treated me like an American. So in America, I was the Mexican.
Yeah.
But I went to Mexico. I was a pocho.
Yeah.
Pocho, literally.
I've been called that too.
Right. So a pocho, for you people that don't know, in Mexico at the time, I don't know if it still exists, is an American of Mexican descent. But they let you know when you go to Mexico, at least me, you're not us.
You don't belong here. Oh,
You're not us.
Well aware.
And so they would be like, eres pocho. And I was like, I was born in Honduras. Pues sos hondureño, pero no sos mexicano.
Yeah.
Then I go
Either
to
way,
Honduras.
we'll figure it out, but you're still one of those.
Right. And then I go to Honduras, and they were like, no, you sound like a Mexican. No. Puta, vos, no, vos hablas como ellos. Vos sos mexicano. And I'm like, God damn, is there a country for me?
Yeah.
Like, can I get a little sliver here? I feel like I don't belong anywhere. I feel like in America, leave. In Mexico, go back. In Honduras, go back. There was like a rotation of people telling me I didn't belong.
We're a wetback everywhere we go.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I was pretty much a version of a wetback wherever I went. That attitude, that gave me an attitude of having to prove to the world that I'm worthy to be here. I'm worthy to be.
I may not be what you guys want, but I am somebody.
Yes.
I don't know who that is yet. I know that's how I felt like in high school. I'd hang out with the Mexican guys that were more wannabe cholos, if I'm really thinking about, you know,
Right.
they had that stupid little black comb that they're always with their 3 flowers, and I wasn't like that.
The one where you lift the little thing and the finger goes
and
through
and you just, and then you scrape the skin off it.
Yeah.
And it's like I got along with the black guys and I got along with the white guys, so I kind of took pride in, and I kind of bounced around. Like, that's where I really started figuring out who I was. That
Right.
I wanted to be everybody. I
Right.
wanted to be liked by everybody.
Right.
So once I started doing stand-up, I didn't want to be the Latino comic that Jamie Masada said, hey, Buddy, from I own the Laugh Factory, and you're Mexican. You should be doing more Mexican jokes.
He said the same thing to me.
But I'm like, Jamie, I'm not a Mexican comic. I'm a comic that happens to be Mexican. There's a huge fucking difference.
Right.
Buddy, trust me. I remember when I was telling Dane, because at the time Dane Cook was his pride and joy.
Right.
I remember when I was telling Dane, we're like, what the fuck did you tell Dane? To be more white?
Right.
To be more fucking Boston? What the fuck were you telling him?
Right.
And how does that story compare to mine? But
Right.
Buddy, trust me, I know.
Right.
I never listened to one fucking thing that Jamie Masada said.
He said the same thing to me, buddy. You need to do more joke about the lowrider, buddy.
Yeah.
Buddy, the lowrider,
Yeah.
buddy. And I was like, I've never had a lowrider. I'm not a cholo.
I can't relate to that.
I
I don't know that.
I literally didn't understand gangbangers. I never understood this. Hey, bro, we got to protect our neighborhood. I was like, from who? Who are these invaders? Like, we live in the shittiest part of L.A. When are white people going to rise up and say, we're taking back the barrio?
Yeah.
Like, when is that happening? The
I-
only people we need to protect ourselves from are people that are here to literally shoot you.
Yeah.
And they're other Mexicans, not white people.
Yeah.
They're not black people. It's you. Yeah. You're causing this shit. So I never understood that.
I remember I was touring with Charlie Murphy.
Charlie Murphy.
May he rest in peace, but Charlie Murphy.
Love Charlie.
And a guy came after this show. It's like, hey, I want you to. It's like I do this thing for Lowrider Magazine. We're having a car show, and I'd like you to host it.
Right.
I'm like, what about this?
Right.
Looks like a lowrider demographic.
Right.
I drive a Nissan Altima.
Right.
What about this?
Yeah.
Knows about the bouncy cars.
Right.
They're fun to look at.
Right.
I don't know the specifics.
Right.
How would I think you got the wrong guy. No, you're exactly who I want. And he was so adamant.
Right.
I'm like, I don't talk with the A accent. And you know the Cholo accent.
Sure.
He's like, that's why I want you. You are full-blooded Mexican, and you are nothing like our demographic, and that's why I want you.
Oh.
Because I say, I want to show the world, especially not the Latinos, to everybody else,
Right.
that people like you and I exist.
Right.
That was his big thing. I'm like, now you're selling me.
Right.
You want to show something to the rest of the world? I'm on board.
Right.
But if you're trying to get me to appeal
Right.
to all these Raider jerseys,
Right.
I am not your guy.
Right. But we have a chip on our shoulder. You can tell
I
by what
absolutely.
we talk.
Yeah.
And so, dude, something came to my attention a couple of weeks ago that just knocked the wind out of me, bro. It literally just threw me for an emotional loop in a roller coaster. So my first, the first time I did a pilot, it was for Fox. And it was really funny. I enjoyed it. I liked it. I'm very proud of it. At the end of the pilot, I grabbed the microphone and I said to the audience, and I remember exactly what I said. I said, guys, thank you so much for being here. This is a pilot. It may get picked up and become a series. It may not get picked up and become a series. But whatever happens, I just want to thank you for being such a beautiful and wonderful, laughing and giving audience, because it's important to me to thank you for what you did for me today. I appreciate you. Round of applause. And I gave the microphone back. That's what happened. I found out a couple of days ago from somebody who said to me, you know, we were going to pick up that pilot, but when you grabbed the microphone and you did what you did, it rubbed a lot of the executives the wrong way.
What?
And
For being
you
appreciative?
you sounded like you were a little too arrogant. And I remember just getting, it's like a punch in the face, because I was like, there was nothing, that was humble in my opinion.
Yeah. Sincere.
That was showing humility of like, hey, this might not work. This might work. It's up to them, not up to me. But them aside, thank you. But I don't know how they saw it. I don't know. Like, I talked to my therapist and we tried to break it down and we couldn't. And I chalk it up to that attitude. That attitude that I had of like, what they probably saw was a face and energy saying, if you pick it up, cool. If not, fuck you. I don't give a shit. That's probably what they heard.
Yeah.
And it was nothing close to what I was trying to say. Yeah. It was nowhere near.
There was no arrogance that you were talking about earlier behind.
None. None. But they saw it. And that's what I've had to work on for the past. And I guess I still have residuals of it, according to your friend. And I purposely now try to do things. You know what I see when I see those moments where I can be the Carlos of old, and I stop myself. I'll be like, no, don't go there. Don't say that. Don't do this. Don't do that. You know what I mean? Because I know that attitude is hurtful. And now I get it, right? If I could go back in time, I would tell myself at the age of 20, as soon as I got out of the hood and started living outside, dude, let all that go. You're a middle-class American now. Live that life. Exude that life. Be that life.
That's actually, that leads into a great question. Do you think because our stories are so, you and I are very similar in our upbringing, but it's so specific as far as that feeling of we don't belong in a certain group. So let me throw this at you. Do you ever do you think we just hold ourselves to our own bar and we keep raising our bar because we don't compare ourselves? Let me give you an example before you comment. Sometimes I don't realize what I've accomplished. You know, like I said, like I'm lucky enough that I live in a gated neighborhood here in Vegas. Mm-hmm. And I just think this is just a step for me. This is, a level of work that got me here, and this is my receipt of the work that I've been putting in my life.
Right.
And I don't realize that until I had to get a gardener. Like, I had to get a landscaper. Even though it's desert landscaping here in Vegas, I still have, because there's a fucking HOA. But obviously a Mexican guy, and his name is Jose. And when I wrote him his first check, he said something to me that impacted me so hard. And he said, "Te tengo que decir, me da tanto orgullo que uno de nosotros está en este lado de la cerca." So he was telling me, it gives me so much pride that one of us made it to this side of the gate.
Right.
And that stuck with me. It's like really fucking hard. And that never crossed my mind that other people that now are proud that I'm one of them.
Right. Because you are now, that could be me.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's not even, he might be thinking that could be me, but I know that he's definitely thinking that could be my kids. Right?
Yeah.
It's
that never crossed my mind. I'm just holding myself to my own bar and what's next. And is there a bigger house? Is there a Ferrari in my future? Shit like that. I'm just holding myself to my own personal bars, not realizing that outsiders looking at me in a positive way, not in a negative way.
Right. That's hard for me because, I mean, it's been hard for me because, I'm literally the first person that as a whole, the internet in the United States of America, right, tried to cancel.
Yeah.
So if you go look at the algorithms starting in about 2005, 2006, you can see the internet slowly turning, on Carlos Mencia.
Yeah.
Right? All the animated shows did a joke about me in some way, shape, or form. And it wasn't a positive joke, whether it was South Park or whether it was Family Guy or whether it was The Simpsons. They all did a joke about me that said something negative. So it was, it's kind of hard not to want to be angry and get pissed off and, you know what I mean, let everybody know, like, go fuck yourself type of attitude. But the attitude that got me there was the go fuck yourself attitude.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Oh, but my perspective is, and you see it as a negative, I see it as a positive. I'm like, holy shit, you were that relevant and that well known in this entire country that you are an episode of South Park.
That is true as well.
Everybody knew who you were. I'm like, so I saw it like, holy fuck.
That is true as well.
So now I'm seeing one of us made it.
But it's the difference.
I became my landscaper looking at you.
Yeah, I got you. But it's the difference between it's a difference between being respected as an actor because your name is Richard Gere, or everybody knows that they pulled a gerbil out of your ass, according to the story. Do you know what I mean?
He's still relevant.
Yeah, but
everybody still knows who he is.
Yeah, but one of them is for the work that he does. You know what I mean? One of them is for what he did for a living in a show of respect. The other one is just infamous. And there's a difference.
He's still part of the conversation.
There's a difference, though, with us. Infamous doesn't sell tickets. Famous does.
So if Richard Gere does Pretty Woman 2, do you think it's not going to sell because of the gerbil? Or because Richard Gere?
If people don't know him for that, all they know him for is the gerbil, so to speak. No, yeah, because I'm telling you, I've lived it for the past 15 years. From 2010 to 2020, those 10 years or 12 years from 2008, I've had people like come up to me now and apologize. You've seen some of these apologies.
I witnessed it. Yeah.
You've witnessed some of the people say, "I'm sorry, I used to hate you. I thought all this stuff was true, and now blah blah blah." Like, so there was an effect, and it cost me like a lot. But now when I look back, I do take responsibility for the fact that I did have to work on that attitude. I did not know that attitude was hurting me. I did not know that attitude was, I mean, yesterday, dude, you and I were walking from the car to behind the Harrah's and behind the Link to get to Jimmy Kimmel's. And you saw me. I just went, and I blew a snot right on the side of the sidewalk. And I went, "I'm sorry for being such a paisa."
Very classy, by the way.
I know, those are things that I grew up with, right? I grew up in Honduras. I lived there. I didn't grow up there, but I lived there long enough. You don't have Kleenex in a village, okay? Nobody's ever gonna have a Kleenex.
You got to do what you got to do
in a village. And so everybody snot rocketed, okay? Then when I came, when I was living in America and I was playing soccer out there, you don't have a Kleenex either. You see it all the time when you watch soccer games. I was doing it all the time.
Yeah.
Now it's stuck with me. And I catch myself like, damn, you got to stop that, bro. Yeah. But these are some of the things that I grew up with that, like, hindered part of me. And I look at it like people ask me, what do you mean? I go, look, I get it. Well, first of all, this is another thing. I don't know how you grew up with this, and this affected me enormously. Nobody in the hood, well, except for one person, but everybody else in the hood, they didn't support me. They weren't there for me.
Yeah.
They didn't tell me you could do it. I remember one time some lady said, interviewing me, Oh, she was from Mencia, and it was for something I was doing for college.
Yeah.
I think it was UC Santa Barbara, or Cal State Santa. What anyway? She asked me like, what do I do for my community? And I go, oh, you mean the community that stabbed me a couple of times, that beat me a couple of times, that tried to kill me by shooting me at least 20 to 25 times? You mean the ones that told me I wasn't shit, that I wasn't funny, that I could never make it?
Yeah.
You mean that supportive community?
Yeah.
What the fuck? What?
What
No!
What do I owe my community?
Yeah, they were never there for me.
Yeah.
They never helped me.
Yeah.
They never get. But that attitude is also an attitude that hurt me once I started meeting the president of Fox, the president of this, the guy, because instead of me being thankful in an overt way, right? In a, oh my God, thank you so much for coming out. I was like, fuck that. I deserve this. You're not here because I'm not funny.
Yeah.
You're not here as a favor.
Yeah.
You're here because you hope that I can make you a shitload of money, which is, by the way, 100% true. But that attitude is fucking wrong.
Yeah.
That's not an attitude.
So you didn't play the song and dance.
It's not the song and dance. You see, and what you say right there is my point. You're at a place where you're like, oh, you had to do the dance.
Yeah.
And I'm at a place where, no, it doesn't matter what color you are. It doesn't matter where you come from. When you sit down at a meeting and they're contemplating giving you 13 episodes of a series, the average cost of a series is $1 million. So they're going to invest $13 million in you. I would want a grateful motherfucker too.
Yeah.
I would want somebody that comes in and says, that shows an attitude of like, hey man, thank you for this opportunity. I really appreciate it. Wherever it goes, thanks for giving me a shot. Because that's what I would want today for my opening acts. I wouldn't want Carlos Mencia from those days to open for. I wouldn't let that motherfucker open for me today.
Yeah.
Back in the day, I would have, but not today.
Got it.
And so, yeah, I understand now that it's not about the song and dance. It's about, dude, these people are going to give you $13 million. Show a little bit of gratefulness. Show overtly, be kind, be nice.
Show some grace.
Yeah.
Act like you have some manners.
Yes, but because of the way we grew up.
We have this defensive wall.
And the wall that you said of like, oh, now monkey got to dance.
Yeah.
Oh, now the beaner has to dance. Yeah. Now the Mexican has to dance.
Yeah.
And I did that. Not knowing that's what I was doing. Not knowing that that's what was happening. Because from my perspective, it was, you suck, you're not going to make it, do this, do that. Nothing was ever good enough. I'm not going to make it out of the hood, blah, blah, blah. And so it was always, I got to prove to white people that I'm funny. I got to prove to Mexicans that I'm funny. And then all of a sudden, you know, I have to say I'm Mexican because all the Mexicans that used to say, hey, bro, you're not Mexican. Now all of a sudden in success, hey, bro, you know you're fucking Mexican, bro. Yeah. Let everybody know, bro.
We accept you now.
And so now I got to be the Mexican. I got to be that guy. I got to be. And so like these last 10 years has literally been me going back and saying to myself, like, dude, you got to reframe this for yourself. And what you did right now was perfect of like, do the dance. That's exactly how I used to see it. And now I look at it from a different perspective and think about it. How would you treat you if you met a young Gabe Lopez who wanted to do the dirty with that attitude you had then,
yeah,
and the attitude you have now of being responsible to the show, wanting people to show you the respect that you deserve when they speak to you about this? Like, because I know that I would fucking hate me.
Yeah.
From back in the day.
Yeah.
This Ned, this Carlos would tell that Carlos, hey, bro, what's up with your fucking attitude, dude?
Yeah.
You know,
Shut
you
that
haven't
shit down.
proved anything yet. Yeah, you're funny. A lot of funny people out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would have that attitude toward me. And so I had that conversation with myself, and I changed it because I want to not be, you know, you come to a point in your career, in your life, where you're either going to stay that same or grow past it. So what would you have said? How would you have treated that guy today?
Kick rocks.
Yeah.
Get out of my face. Just that arrogance is if I've never met you
Right.
and you're talking to me trying
Right.
to do my show like your shit doesn't stink and I'm the moron for not putting
Right.
you on.
Right.
I don't fucking need you.
Right.
I don't care how talented you are.
Right.
I don't fucking need you.
Exactly, bro.
There
And
are a lot of hungry kids out there that I'd rather give a shot to than this arrogance.
right. And this just scratches the surface of the things we think about. I mean, think about how we grew up, with our parents and what they did and how it affected us. How, when I was growing up, there was a thing where any parent could discipline any other child. And it was okay. Like you could literally, like the Doña Amelia could watch me do something stupid,
Yeah.
smack me around, bring me to the house, knock on my door, look at my mother and say, I beat his ass because he was doing this. And then my mom would look at her and go, Gracias, Doña Amelia. And then as soon as that door was closed, I get another ass whooping for whatever I did. And then another ass whooping for embarrassing my mother in front of Doña Amelia.
And I think that's what's wrong with the country right now, because nowadays, how dare you touch my child? When before, I believe this to this day, it takes a village to raise a child.
Yeah. Well, that's another subject for another day because that's a whole nother podcast. But I guess in this short amount of time, because there's so much we can do and we'll expand on this stuff later. I think that anybody listening to this, I think the message of this episode is look at your life and how it affected you and how it helped you or hurt you. But for me, all of that attitude helped me. Helped me not get shot, helped me not get beat, helped me get out of the hood.
Kept
It
us
helped me.
alive.
And by the way, it helped me in stand-up. It helped me in stand-up because I didn't pay attention to all the stuff around me. For those years before everybody turned on me, I felt untouchable because I was in my own world. I wasn't in their world. I wasn't affected by it. I didn't care what they said. It was just gibberish. It wasn't until it started affecting my business when people started not coming, when people started, saying, I don't want to go see that guy. When people started coming to me saying, man, 8 of us were going to come, but you know what? They don't want to see you. So it's just me and my girlfriend or whatever. And I started seeing like, oh my God. And I started becoming the butt of everybody's joke. And I started becoming the guy that everybody could punch in the face. And then every comedian, was in the way it felt against Carlos Mencia. And then even people that were friends of mine were like, dude, you're toxic, bro. I can't even touch you. And all of that happened because I had that attitude that I didn't know I had. And so I guess for you guys is look at the attitude that you have, especially those of you that grew up in environments like ours, whether it was a poor white neighborhood, a poor black neighborhood, whether it was a poor barrio or the hood or the trailer park or the redneckville, whatever it is. Look at it from many angles and learn from us if you can. Try to not have that attitude because we're telling you as people that now employ others, that give opening shots, that give opportunities to young comedians, we would not have helped ourselves today with the attitude that we had back then. And thank God we can acknowledge that and change it. But a lot of you guys are still stuck in that world. So try to look within, try to go past it, and try to see yourself and grow past whatever those things are. And don't lie to yourself because that's the hardest part. It's hard for me to say the word arrogance when it comes to me.
Yeah.
Because I don't believe I'm better than anybody else. Like part of my anger with other comedians at the Comedy Store, especially back in the day, was, dude, I'm not better than you. Why are you half-assing this? Why are you not working on new stuff? Why are you not treating this audience like they paid to see it perform? Why are you sitting down on the stool when you never do that? Why are you, that kind of stuff? Because I didn't think I was better. If I thought I was better, my attitude would have been, oh, these guys can't be me. I'm not mad at them. Yeah. But I was because I expected more from them because I expected more from me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
It's like a Kobe Bryant mentality. We knew we know the work we put into this.
Right.
And I can see the work you're not putting into this. So in that aspect, I know I'm not better than you. I'm a stronger comic than you. There's a difference.
Right.
I'm not better than you as a person.
Correct.
I know the work I put in.
Right.
I know the reps I put
Right.
in.
Right.
So if I'm walking into the Comedy Store and I'm seeing half-ass sitting on a stool bullshit,
Right.
when I know that's not your style,
Right.
why are you not treating this like the royal stage that it is?
Right.
This world famous fucking stage, and
Right.
this is how you're treating it.
Right.
And if there's only 10 people, there might be 5 people into those 10 people that can
Right.
change my life tomorrow.
Correct.
So why am I not giving them everything I fucking got?
Right. And that used to piss me off, but now I'd be like, today my attitude would be, hey, you choose to do whatever you choose to do with your time. That's your time. I'm gonna go up on stage and show them what I can do, and get off and bring up the next comic. It has nothing to do with me. I'm not mad at them anymore. I don't judge them anymore. I don't put them. That's on them. So my attitude is completely, well, not completely, but it's evolved a lot because of being retrospective. So check yourself, I guess, is what it is. You have a final thought?
Keep working.
There you go.
Keep working.
I say, I add to that. Keep working in every way, especially keep working on yourself.
Yeah, that's
Never-
every aspect. Whether you're a stand-up, whether you're a tradesman, whether you're a father, a mother, everything. You can be better at everything. What kind of effort do you want to put into it? I want to be a better man. I'm not a father. I still kind of hope I will be someday.
And-
I'm gonna be a stronger comic.
Right.
You know, I'm gonna, it's like, you know, and if it's money driven, what are you doing today to get there where you want to be? Do you want the Ferrari? It's an attainable thing.
Right.
What are you doing today to get there?
Right. Work.
That's it.
So there you go. Keep working. Till next time. Peace.
See you guys.
We're out.